Today, I wanted to talk about this Lamy Scala. And as you can see, this is the orange one. It's called the Infinite Orange. It's a limited edition for 2021. And before I started talking about this pen, I wanted to talk about just my videos in general. I had this idea of, oh, I'll just make fountain pen videos and eventually I'll get through my collection and it'll be kind of fun. And then it dawned on me that I'm making videos at a slower pace than I'm buying pens, which is a bit embarrassing to admit. So this whole thought of, oh, eventually I'll make it through my whole collection, I'm not sure if that's actually true. So I figured I'll try to start making videos that are more theme-based and try to get through more pens that way. So today I wanted to talk about FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. And that, I have to admit, is what prompted me to buy this pen. Typically, I'm pretty good about the whole FOMO thing. I don't tend to chase limited editions. I don't buy pens just because they're limited or just because I'm able to, if I see them somewhere and I know they'll get sold out. I typically don't do that. There's only 2 times when I feel like I gave in to the FOMO, and both times happen to be with Lamy. This is one of them, of course. The other time is with this Lamy 2000. This is the Bauhaus Blue. And I'll try to make another video about this pen because how I bought it was kind of interesting. I bought it from a duty-free shop when I was traveling through Austria. But yeah, so this was the first time I feel like I gave into the FOMO and bought a pen because I thought it would be hard to get and didn't really have any real ideas or plans of using it. This pen, the Scala Limited Edition, it's out of 1350, as you can see. This one's number 1236. Quick tangent, 1236, I'm a nerd, I confess, full nerd. I went to MIT, so this number I think is kind of cool. But this pen I bought because I don't really see Lamy do these sort of vibrant colors that often in their more premium pens. Sometimes they do them with the Safaris and All-Stars and even the Studios now and then, but for the more expensive pens, I don't see them do it very often, and I just thought this color looked really cool. And I resisted the FOMO the first time. The first pass when US resellers had this pen, I missed out on that batch, sort of intentionally. But then I had a chance to buy this from a wholesaler for a little bit of a discount. I think I paid around $240 for this, which is, I think it's too much money for a Scala, but it's a little bit of a discount, and I gave in and I bought this. So that's the whole FOMO thing, not something I encourage. I'm actually I guess I'm sort of proud of myself that I've only given in. This is the second time. Try to be better about it. But this is a pretty cool pen, and I'd like to show this to you. The other reason I'm making this pen today is, or this video today, is because I'm actually moving and I don't have enough space to take this box with me. So I figured if I wanted to make a video with this box, now's the time. So this is what the pen comes in. It's a big sort of Lamy box. Cardboard, just like most Lamy boxes. Comes with a bottle of this Lamy orange ink, which I'll show you in a bit because I actually packed all of my other ink, so this is the only ink I have left. And then it comes in an outer sleeve as well, which is nothing really special except it has the number of the pen here, which I thought was kind of interesting. So, the Scala. This is the second Scala that I've owned. The first one was a matte black finish, which had a bit of a rubberized outer texture. I bought it used. I paid around $70 for it. And I don't know where it is. I don't think I ever gave it away, so it's just somewhere. It might be in Asia, actually. But that pen, it's not a pen I actually ever really bonded with, because I feel that this pen, even though it's pretty stylish. It's pretty clean. It looks pretty nice. There's nothing really special about it, in my opinion. And from a pricing perspective, this pen, even with the steel nib, is well over $100. And it just, to me, doesn't feel like a good deal or good value compared to something like the Studio. So the Studio, you can easily get online for about $80 new. I just looked at prices this morning. So about $80 with the steel nib, about $160 with the gold nib. If you took the time to look a little bit more, if you spent more time digging around and you didn't care as much about the color combination, you can even get it sometimes significantly cheaper than that. But about $160 with the steel nib is the going price from a reseller. Now this at more the $250 price point, I just don't see where the extra money went. You know, the clip is a little bit more complicated. You know, it's a spring-loaded clip. But other than that, I don't see that it's a significantly more expensive pen to manufacture than the Studio. Like I mentioned before, I have a bit of a product design background, so at least I know a little bit of what I'm talking about. And I just don't see, compared to the Studio, where this should be a significantly more expensive pen. The other thing about this is the section, the sealing mechanism is very similar to the Studio, but for me personally, I find the Studio actually more comfortable because the Scala has a fairly thin, fairly narrow section, and personally, I tend to find pens that have a slightly thicker section more comfortable. So overall, the Scala is not my favorite pen. I mentioned I had a black one. I still have a black one somewhere, but I use it so little that I don't even know where it is. So I think bang for buck, the Studio I find to be a better value and a more comfortable pen. That said, this orange is pretty cool. I think this orange is very bright. In person, it's very non-Lamy. You know, it's not really like them to make this type of color. So that's the reason I gave in and bought it. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all there is to this. This one has the 14 karat, I think it's a fine nib is what I chose. I didn't even look. Yeah, it is. It's a fine nib. Yeah, I wasn't really planning on using this. And then the barrel, it fits the standard Lamy converter, same converter as the Studio. The construction is very similar to what you find in the Studio and also pens like the Lamy Ion. It's brass housing inside. Feels quite nice. But again, none of these things on their own, I feel, justify the pen's price, because these things are similar to pens that are lower in price from Lamy. But for the color, for me personally, it was worth the $240-ish I paid for it. But from a objective, how the pen is made, how the pen is designed, I don't think this is the best value. All right, so let's see how this writes. I'm actually kind of curious myself. So this is the Lamy Orange ink. Let's open this up. And I'm at my office now without a sink, so I'll just dip this and you can see. I'm also trying to go through this rodeo notebook. Is another thing that I'm not taking with me on my move. So here is the good old rodeo notebook. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Lamy tests their pens with Lamy blue ink. So there's some contamination there. Yeah, so Lamy pens from the factory, they test their pens with blue ink. So my apologies, I forgot about that. So that is not what that orange ink looks like, but bear with me. So this is a really smooth nib. So this is a Lamy Scala Infinite Orange. And this is a 14 karat fine. My first time writing with this pen, I'm actually quite impressed. One thing I will say, I don't know if it's just me, I mean, my sample size is really, really small, so it could just be my experience. But I found that the Lamy fine nibs have gotten consistently finer over the past few years. I have some Lamy 14 karat fine nibs from 5-6 years ago that were broader than this, but it seems over the past few years, the Lamy fine nibs that I've used are consistently fine, you know, almost similar to what a Japanese fine would be, and they're very, very smooth. So this is a good writer, pleasant, I wouldn't say surprised, but pleasant to find out. Good writer, 14 karat fine nib. Anyway, that is the Lamy Scala Infinite Orange. Hopefully I was able to explain why I purchased this particular pen. I think the color is really cool, but from just objectively, from writing experience, from how it's made, I don't really think it's worth the money. But to me, it's one of the couple times I gave into the FOMO, and I'm pretty happy with this color. So hope that was fun. Thanks for watching.